Have you ever found yourself questioning whether a guy has feelings for you? Maybe he's sending mixed signals, leaving you to decode his behavior like it's some sort of a secret message. Here's the thing, understanding someone's feelings isn't always straightforward. People express interest in unique, sometimes controversial ways, and often these subtle signs can get misinterpreted. But why is it so hard to figure out if he likes you? Psychology gives us some clues. Fear of rejection, social conditioning, and even personal insecurities can make people hesitant to openly express their feelings. Instead, they rely on indirect cues like gestures, actions, and comments that might seem confusing, but often they carry a deeper meaning. In today's video, we're breaking down 8 controversial signs that he might have feelings for you. These aren't just your typical "he likes you if he texts back" tips. Instead, we are diving into the more nuanced, often debated behaviors that reveal his emotions. And by the end of this video, you'll be equipped to read between the lines and understand what he's really trying to say. Let's get started. 1. He never texts first, but always responds. Let's tackle one of the most debated behaviors, the guy who never texts first, but always replies. It's easy to assume that if he's not initiating, he's not interested. But here's the thing, this could actually mean he's interested, but cautious. Why? Because of fear of rejection. Some guys hesitate to make the first move because they're unsure how you'll react, or maybe they're worried about coming on too strong. Here's an example for you. Think of a friend who waits for you to suggest plans but always shows up enthusiastically. It's not that they don't value the relationship, they just prefer to follow your lead. Similarly, a guy who always replies but rarely initiates might be waiting for a sign that you're interested too. While this behavior can be frustrating, it often stems from insecurity rather than disinterest. The key is to look at the quality of his responses. If he's engaging, thoughtful, and eager to keep the conversation going, it's a sign he's invested, even if he's not the one hitting send first. 2. He gets jealous easily. Jealousy. Some see it as a romantic gesture. Others label it as toxic. But when it comes to subtle signs of attraction, jealousy can reveal emotional investment. If he seems irritated or withdrawn when you mention other guys, it's likely because he sees them as competition. However, this doesn't always mean he'll openly express his feelings. Example, imagine mentioning a coworker who helped you with a project and suddenly changes the subject or downplays their importance. It's his way of signaling discomfort without outright saying, "I'm jealous." While jealousy can be a sign of interest, it's important to ensure it doesn't cross into controlling territory. The controversy here lies in how jealousy is perceived. Some see it as a natural reaction to attraction, while others believe it indicates insecurity. Either way, his jealousy often points to emotional attachment towards you. 3. He flirts with others to gauge your reaction. This one's tricky and potentially frustrating. If a guy flirts with others in your presence, it might feel like he's dismissing you, but in reality, he could be testing the waters. By gauging your reaction, he's trying to understand how you feel about him. Are you indifferent? Are you jealous? Are you playful? Your response gives him clues about where he stands. Imagine you're at a group gathering and he makes a lighthearted comment to someone else. If you tease him or playfully call him out, he might interpret that as a sign that you care. On the other hand, if you don't react, he might assume you're not interested. While this tactic can come off as immature, it often stems from a mix of insecurity and curiosity. He's not trying to hurt you. He's trying to decode your feelings without putting his own on the line. He acts indifferent around you in public. Have you ever felt like a guy is ignoring you in public, even though he's warm and engaging when you guys are in private? This behavior can be confusing, but it often reflects shyness and uncertainty. He might downplay his feelings in public because he's unsure how others or even you will perceive them. Here's an example. Maybe you're at a party and he avoids initiating conversations with you but keeps glancing your way. His indifference isn't about a lack of interest. It's about protecting his emotions in a setting where he feels vulnerable. The debate here lies in interpretation. While some see this as a sign of disinterest, others believe it shows he's grappling with his emotions and feelings and his fears of being too transparent. 5. He talks about his exes to test your interest. Hearing about his exes can be uncomfortable, but it might not mean what you think. When a guy brings up past relationships, he could be testing your reaction. Are you reacting as if you are curious? Are you showing jealousy? Are you indifferent? This tactic, while risky, is his way of gauging whether you see him as a potential romantic partner. Here's some psychological insight. Discussing exes allows him to explore emotional topics without directly addressing his feelings for you. It's a safe way to gauge your emotional investment without outright confessing his own. While this behavior can feel like a red flag, it often reflects his own uncertainty rather than a lack of boundaries. 6. He spends money on you without commitment. Let's talk about financial gestures. If he's treating you to dinners, buying thoughtful gifts, or going out of his way to spend on you, it's a sign he values you. But why the lack of commitment? For some men, these gestures are a way to show they care without rushing into a label. Here's an example. A guy might insist on paying for dinner or surprise you with your favorite coffee. These actions often reflect emotional investment, even if he's not ready to define the relationship. The controversy here lies in interpretation again. Some argue financial gestures are superficial, while others see them as meaningful indicators of interest. The key is to pair this behavior with emotional engagement. Does he genuinely care, or is he just trying to impress you? 7. He gives mixed signals on purpose. Hot and cold behavior is one of the most frustrating experiences in dating. One day he's attentive and affectionate, the next he's distant. But what if this inconsistency is intentional? For some men, mixed signals are a way to keep things interesting or to mask their own nervousness about how much they like you. Example, he might text you all day, then go silent for a few days. While this can feel manipulative, it often reflects his inner struggle rather than a lack of interest. He's trying to balance his feelings with his fear of appearing too eager. Understanding this behavior requires patience and open communication. If his mixed signals persist, it's worth addressing directly to avoid unnecessary confusion. 8. He tells you about his struggles. Opening up about personal hardships is a deeply vulnerable act. If a guy shares his struggles with you, it's often a sign he trusts and values your emotional support. But does this mean he likes you romantically? That's gonna depend. For some men, sharing vulnerabilities is a way of deepening the connection. For others, it reflects a platonic bond. Relatable example here. Imagine he talks to you about his career frustrations or family conflicts. If he seeks your advice and genuinely listens, it's a sign he respects and values your opinion. Hallmarks of emotional attachment. The line between friendship and romance here can be blurry, but his willingness to open up is a clear indicator of how much he values you in his life. Guys, figuring out someone's feelings isn't always easy, especially when their actions are subtle or contradictory. But by paying attention to these controversial signs, you can gain deeper insights into their emotions. Remember, understanding someone's behavior isn't just about what they do, it's about why they do it. What do you think? Have you noticed any of these signs in someone before? Let me know in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to like, and ring that notification bell for more insights on everything relationship, communication, and love. Until next time, trust your instincts and keep an open heart.